If your money is just sitting in the bank, it might actually be losing some value. Today, we're joined by Dylan Bond. He's the owner of Bond Financial Services, and he's going to share tips on making more money and making your money work for you. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Good to be here, Seth.
Well, that's what we always talk about, the interest rates, 3-4% inflation, rather.
Right.
It's 3-4% over time. So if your money's not making 3-4%, you're losing money.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about it all the time on the show. The national average inflation rate is close to 3% a year. That doesn't include food, healthcare, and energy. Okay, those are three of the things I think we use most around here, especially in the Northeast. We've got home heating oil that we're going to need in the winter time. So if all of our money is in an account that's earning 0.5% interest, and let's say the average inflation rate is growing at 4% interest, okay, over time, every year that goes by, we're losing 3.5% in purchasing power on our money.
So a lot of people make those mistakes to leave all that money in the bank where it's getting almost no interest.
Yep.
But a lot of people say that because they're like, well, you know, I'm waiting for interest rates to go up.
Yeah, and again, that's one of the number one things that I hear a lot of is that people are waiting for interest rates to go back up before they make any commitments to longer-term CDs or any type of longer-term savings instruments. The thing to remember is, you know, we don't have to look any further than Japan. Over the last 20 years, their interest rates have been below 1%. And it appears that there's no change in sight for us in the near term. Bernanke, a couple of weeks ago, stated that he didn't see interest rates moving up for in the near foreseeable future, and thought that, you know, past 2015 as a minimum before we start to see any move in interest rates.
So if you don't want to have your money losing money, you need to talk to someone like you, or you need to start investing. And there's a bevy of ways you can do it.
I think everybody's different, like a fingerprint. Their financial situation is different. So there's no real one account that will solve everybody's problem. But I think just going through the motions of understanding what's available out there, and then what fits your risk tolerances and your time horizons. I think there's a lot of tools out there that people don't even know about or understand how they work that can really help increase the overall rate of return you can get on your money and still give you liquidity, so that if you need money in the near term, or if rates do go up, you'll have the ability to move that money.
And there are so many little things that people do and that you do when you sit down with people, but it's as simple as, you know, the rule of 100, the rule of 72. It's that as you get older, you want to have less risk. But when you're young, you have time for risk.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. And that's why when I sit down with somebody for the first time, the first things that we're going to talk about is what do they have, what have they done, how do they feel about things going forward, what is their plan, and I'm just going to get to know them on a one-on-one basis before I can put myself in their shoes and determine, if I were them, what would I do, or are there anything that I think they're overlooking that they should be aware of.
Now, two basic rules. There's two ways to increase your wealth. You can either commit to more risk, to higher risk, or commit to more time.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, there's two basic ways to increase your potential for rate of return. You either commit to more risk, and by doing that, the more risk you commit to, such as putting your money in the stock market, you subject yourself to potential down markets where your values can actually lose money or value. The other way to do it, if you're not comfortable with a lot of risk, is commit to some time. And the best example I have of that is if you look at a 1 month CD versus a 5-year CD, although the 5-year CD rates are very low right now, they're higher than the 1 month CD, because the bank knows that they're going to have your money for a longer period of time, so they can commit to a higher interest rate. Now, that same concept works with other industries out there. In the insurance industry, there are fixed annuities that are guaranteed by the insurance company. They're not FDIC insured, but they do have higher fixed interest rates. And if you're comfortable committing some of your money to a longer period of time, you can go out there and find some pretty reasonable fixed interest rates to help keep pace with inflation.
And if you make the decision to get your money out of the bank, a little bit of change in rate of return can really boost a long way. You know, 1 percentage point extra return can mean a lot of money in 10, 20, 30 years.
The best example of that, Seth, is if you compare an after-tax rate of return at 0.5% versus 5%, the difference is 4.5%. On $100,000 over the course of each year, that's a $4,500 difference. multiply that by 10 years, not even considering the interest you'd earn on that extra money, that's $45,000 over a 10-year period. So it all adds up.
Which is just money that you didn't have. It's just materialized purely by making sound financial decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, anybody that's 50 or older that's at or near retirement and looking for other ways of doing things, I'd love an opportunity to talk with them. I'd recommend coming to one of my seminars first and listening to how we do things, how we think about things, and see if we're a little bit different than other people they've talked to in the business. And if they feel comfortable with what we're saying and I make sense, then at that point in time, they can make a decision to come in and meet with me one-on-one.
And you always have them going on almost every week. You have some at Villa Rose, some at Tucker's, all different places, but you also have a great one coming up at a golf course.
Yeah, we do in the summertime. We do golf events at Twin Hills Country Club in Longmeadow, Massachusetts. It started as a client appreciation event, and then we started inviting the public. And really, if you're 50 and older and you have questions about your retirement and you play golf and you want to hear me talk for 45 minutes and then go out and have a complimentary round of golf, I highly recommend calling George at the office. Getting the upcoming dates and availability, because they do fill up quick and they're by invitation only. It would be a great morning, and you learn a little bit about your finances and then learn a little bit about your golf game.
Hitting the links with Dylan, I like it. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
It's good to be here.
So if you want more information, you can visit bondfinancialservices.net or give Dylan a call, 413-754-4747. Just let Dylan and his staff take all the steps necessary to secure your financial future.